G'day, Ski the Realtor here with the SIS series, Ski Interview series, and here with me today is David Schlueter from
Itasca, Illinois ski. Been practicing 25 years. So good to have you as a friend, and you do such a great job as a realtor. So it's nice working with you.
Great. And occasionally we find ourselves in need of not a realtor, I'm the realtor, but an attorney in that. So tell me about yourself and experiences as being an attorney.
Yeah, I got my license in 1986 from Loyola University School of Law in Chicago. And I really enjoy what I do. A lot of lawyers don't, but I find that the practice of real estate law especially is such a joy because people rarely have such large transactions they deal with. They need an advocate, and there's some word on the street that you shouldn't spend the money, but in this day and age, it's just unbelievable. You'd think about going ahead without an advocate when you're spending that kind of money. It's not always rocket science, but the people who do what we do for a living, I mean, there are some nuances there that really are a trick bag. You just can't call your nephew who just got out of school and said, help me with my closing. It's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. So what made you decide to actually become an attorney or a lawyer?
There's something about helping people in situations where they may have done some research on their own, maybe they've seen something on television. I've just always had a passion about setting the record straight and helping people have true knowledge and true resources. I also really enjoy being a go-to person for people. I have a number of business clients and families, and I really get a lot of fulfillment out of them saying, we better check with Dave. And what that does is whether I handle the matter or I have a team of other people that I refer things to, it gives me a lot of satisfaction knowing that not only did they get a value, but I really did help them in their business or their family, or in their personal lives as well.
Yeah, very good. Now, to me in that, I have a question in terms of, is there such a thing as a one-stop shop attorney?
If a person claims to be that, they're probably doing that because they maybe don't have any business. Every lawyer has to do a little bit of variety, but to say you're going to get everything, even from one law firm, is really dangerous because there are boutique law firms that really do have nuances. Just the other day, somebody called me about an employment situation, and I know the ins and outs because I represent businesses, but no, they needed a labor attorney, somebody that could really help them. And it's just like a doctor. I mean, any general practitioner in a medical office, if you said, hey, can you check out this retina situation, he's going to send you to the eye doctor.
Exactly. I mean, we may have law offices that may have specialized or attorneys that are able to do various
within the firm, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But someone that does one stop and that kind of like buyer beware kind of thing.
Yeah, I think about the only time you should do that is if you go to the oil change place. If they're willing to do your tires and give you some washer fluid, but fooling around in business and things, no. Every attorney should have a relationship of firms and other attorneys they know because really they're doing a disservice. And sometimes people are paying to educate their attorney when really the person could have just gone ahead and gone to an expert and saved the client a lot of money.
Now, when it comes to real estate transactions and that, is there a reason to utilize an attorney for a real estate transaction since most of the documents are drafted up by the title company and the realtor does their contribution in that? I mean, why even approach an attorney for that?
Well, unfortunately, when you mentioned that documents are prepared, still the documents themselves state that they really aren't your advocate. And so when things hit the fan, you have to have somebody there, number one, to go after the attorney if they messed it up. When you go through just working through a straight title company, they're going to have documents that are going to say, we are not your advocate. You should be relying on your own attorney. So it's a misconception. I'm saying it not just because I want more business, but it's just the reality that the seller should have an attorney of their own and the buyer should have an attorney of their own to represent the interests of the parties. As close as Rockford, the attorneys have given up actually, and we're hearing all the time about situations where somebody thought something was covered and they said, well, we didn't think we need an attorney. By then it's too late. You've already blown the $300,000. You've already gone into documents that maybe you shouldn't have signed, and it's really hard to hit rewind in real estate.
Yeah, and that's why you actually need someone to be your advocate, to look over the documentation, to look over if there's any kind of not so nice
or kosher, right?
Information on there that you need to get out
well,
of. Or
and I'll tell you, Ski, there's a lot of stuff that happens before the closing. Most of our work is not at the closing table. It's prior to that in correspondence, phone calls, coordinating things. And so if a disaster hits at the closing table, that's pretty much too late. That means something went wrong prior to that.
Now, with that being said, have you seen that the real estate transactions have become more difficult then?
I would say geometrically more complicated. Prices are down, but difficulties and issues are up. In fact, recently I was told by the company that handles my malpractice insurance, which is something that every professional should have, that having the real estate being included in my firm, actually from the malpractice community, they're starting to charge higher insurance if you say that you're in real estate. So that's a sign to me that it's got some time bombs in it.
Yeah. All right, if you have any other questions on that, you can contact Dave. We'll have the information up on the website, as well as any kind of transactions that you want. Make sure that you understand why and the reasons you need to get an attorney on that part. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Good.